The exhibition is called Arctic Adaptations, Nunavut at 15, and it's really looking at how modernity has been absorbed and largely adapted in an extreme climate and a fairly unique and radical culture, which is Nunavut, which is 84% Inuit, which is Canada's most northerly and most remote and largest territory, and a very young population. And so it's a place that has undergone a dramatic transformation from a semi-nomadic people in the 1950s to a fully settled population that has access to internet, that and full technology in 60 years. And many anthropologists will say it's the most dramatic transformation of a people in the 20th century. And it's really, there's a kind of modern Inuit culture emerging that on the one hand is deeply committed to tradition, so they still will go and hunt, and many people still live off subsistence hunting, although many people work in a kind of capitalist economy. But at the same time, they will co-opt technologies and Facebook and digital media to support those traditions. So there's a kind of hybridity emerging. And so the exhibition is asking, what is the role of architecture in this context, and what are the seeds of a kind of nascent urbanism in this context?
The role of architecture we've expressed in 5 proposals, 5 speculations. I mean, we've reflected on the theme of modernity from the past, looking at how when first architecture was brought to Nunavut, it was imposed, almost colonial, and it started off as a set of standards that were brought right in. Afterwards, we curated another set of buildings that were looking at a set of experiments, going from prefabrication, experimentation in materiality, how it's going to respond to climate, and then we are moving into this new phase in the last 20 years, which is what we're calling consensus. And it's how designers are starting to react both a little more intelligently, both to climate, but also to the culture. So after this, we have learned from these examples, and we've put forward 5 competitions at different universities to think about proposals for new concepts around 5 themes that we thought were interesting, not only as a challenge, but also as some opportunities. So these are education, recreation, housing, arts, and health. And so for us, we're responding to the way that, well, I guess the role of architecture is how can it begin to, again, make some sort of a bridge or new interface between not only this extreme climate and geography that Lola has mentioned, but also how to play a new role in adapting itself to these emergent culture of digital media, Facebook, but also hunting and tradition. So the role that architecture plays is more like an interface between each of these extremes, and I think that a lot of them are quite interesting in how they're able to negotiate not only their own topic, but also how they fit into their own urban and landscape context.